I am holding a first appearance of Hulk and Thor right now, and these used to be PGX graded. Let's get into it. Jeff, I watched you make this deal. Didn't even know it was happening, but we have a story that needs to be documented because you killed it with this. Just murdered it.
So there's 2 books at the show that I had put aside that another person I know had.
This is Emerald City Comic Con this year.
Yes, it is. It was just in March here. And we are now in May? So these 2 books, which is a Journey to Mystery 83 and a Hulk 1, were both PGX graded.
What were the grades of these books?
So the Hulk 1 was a PGX 6.0, off-white to white pages. And the Journey into Mystery 83 was a PGX 8.0 white pager. Obviously 2 amazing books, but there's always that feeling when you're buying PGX that you just don't know what you're getting into.
Right, and I mean, we're talking high grades, man. Even with a PGX label on them, it's kudos, man, that you are comfortable dealing with those kind of comics and that you're confident enough to make those deals in such a short amount of time. Most people think about investing in books like that for years. Like it's their grail over time, and they have to like build themselves up to get a book like that. You saw an opportunity, and I watched it happen. It was crazy. And you went with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been building up for a long time because I've been doing this for a while.
Sure.
But when I saw these 2 books, I saw a potential opportunity to acquire something that had a chance and a really good chance at coming back at higher grades as long as there was nothing funny or funky with them.
Like on the inside?
Like on the inside of the holder, like a missed color touch or a trim, which would just be the kiss of death.
Ooh.
For these books.
Okay, so I remember we were winding down at the end of the con. Something that I have to do whenever I go to conventions, I'm looking for inventory for the mystery mail call, link in the bio to sign up. And I made a deal with Torpedo Comics. They had their huge graphic novel section, and he said, yo, John Dalmain's like, I want to move all of these. Do you want to buy them all? And I'm like, all right, I can use a lot of those for the mystery mail call. There's a lot of good graphics in here. So we were figuring out how to transport 18 short boxes of comic books on top of moving your entire table worth of comics. So you weren't expecting to get this collection and having to help me move all of these things. And while we're figuring that out, we're packing things up, waiting in line to leave, I see you walking the hall and you're like, you're going over here, you're coming back, you're on your phone, you're going back over here, coming back. And you're like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out this deal. And I remember seeing you like walking towards me, holding 2 slabs with the biggest grin on your face.
Yeah, I pondered over these books like all weekend. Okay, back and forth. Do I, don't I, risk it, don't risk it. And I finally was just at the end of the show. I had a great show. And I was like, I'm doing it. I've had good success with PGX books and converting them because there was a time when they did a really good job and were kind of strict, really. I bought them from the same guy, so I just kind of rolled with it and went with it. I took them, I bought them. I walked back to my booth, and you're like worrying about your trades, and I'm just like, okay, man, just give me a second, okay?
Just give me a second. I felt so bad after the fact because I didn't know you were doing this. I thought you were just chilling, maybe looking at some comic books, trying to move something, catching up with dealers. Little did I know you're making one of the biggest deals you're probably going to make this whole freaking year.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely a big deal between 2 books, and I pulled the trigger, obviously. Came back, and I was happy, a little nervous, but I felt pretty confident, and I quickly met with another dealer there who does pressing and dry cleaning, does a really good job. Phil Schlafer from Heroes does really great work. So I was able to get the books, hand them straight to him.
Now, was this all planned out? Like, part of the deal was, okay, we have to get these cracked, pressed again, because assuming they were pressed the first time, if not repressed, and regraded CGC. Was this all like part of, like, in your head, like, all right, I'm going to get them, and I know exactly where I have to do with them now?
Yeah, my goal was really just to do the Hulk, because the Hulk seemed to be the one that had the big come-up, potentially.
Yeah, right, because it was a 6.0. Interesting. 6.0. So you're just like, all right, if we can just get even a little bump on this Hulk, it's going to be huge gains.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Gym 83, I figured since I'm doing the Hulk, I might as well do the Gym 83 at the same time. Right. Whatever. Here's the books. And I planned it because that next weekend I was going to Chicago C2E2 show where they grade on site.
Yeah, that's right. Because Emerald City, for whatever reason this year, wasn't doing grading on site. And I actually think it's because it was C2E2 that following weekend and they decided to do it there instead.
Yeah, they just chose that show this year.
So you had 1 week so you invested in these books. You made the decision at the con, right? You didn't know these were going to be there.
No, I had no idea they were going to be at the con.
Oh my gosh. So this all happened. I'm putting myself in your shoes. It is Wednesday, right? Unpack is when you started your con voyage at Emerald City?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Right? Wednesday was
Give or
early
take
because you're there early before the show starts looking
Tuesday,
at stuff.
Wednesday.
So you're there and you spot them. And then over the course of 5 days, you're thinking, okay, I got to invest into these books. I got to get them to this guy. I've got to crack them, get them pressed, make sure they're looking good, and then have them in time within 6 days before to fly down to Chicago to get them regraded in person.
Well, like I'd be loading out of the con on Sunday. I'm flying out to Chicago on Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. So we're talking even like a 2-day turnaround.
So he has to press them, okay, dry clean them, overnight them to me to Chicago to my hotel where I have to receive them.
So you're waiting for them in the mail at the hotel?
Yeah, and I'm not staying at Chicago all the way through Sunday. I'm leaving Saturday. So I have to have them by Thursday, submit by Thursday so I can have them by Saturday.
Oh my
the
goodness.
latest. And I got them Saturday morning and flew out Saturday afternoon.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm sitting here and it sounds like a crazy week for you. It sounds very stressful. I bet it'd be very stressful to a lot of people in the community. We'd love to hear your thoughts, actually, from the comic book community in the comment section below, what you think about this story and how you would feel during this week of just ruckus, getting these books, acquiring them, and then getting them regraded. But I'm sitting here looking at 2 books that went up in grade, and somehow the pages turned white.
Yeah, that Hulk.
What?
The Hulk one was off-white white. It was a pretty book, obviously. Okay, and it went from a 6.0 to a 7.0 white.
So you're already like, we went up a full point. Heck yeah, let's do a dance.
And I got the white page quality.
White page, dude.
It's a gorgeous book. No chipping. Both books are outstanding.
That's
obviously.
another comment I was going to make about these books, that there's no chipping. But let's talk about the journey now. What was the gains on this one?
So the journey was an 8.0 white, and it came back 8.5 white.
Awesome.
I wasn't expecting necessarily a come up on it. And honestly, that's the nicest 8.5 you're probably going to see in existence. The alignment with the spine and how clean it is.
It's crazy.
I'm still surprised that the book didn't get a 9.0. Okay, but I was just happy to get it at all at 8.5 white and into a CGC holder because, again, those were those concerns. You don't know what's going to pop up. And obviously, they both came back blue. No issues. Wow. Super stoked. Super excited.
No chipping on these. That's something with these older books. Even the higher grade copies are prone to some chipping.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you get to that type of point, 8.5, you really shouldn't see any chipping. But like 7.0, you can still see 7.0s with chipping.
Right, 7.0s are here and there. There's nothing on that Hulk. That Hulk is as clean cut as that book can be. Amazing. And you know what? This 8.5 that I'm holding is a great example of one that if it wasn't in your possession, if you didn't own this and it wasn't sitting in a vault somewhere, it would probably be one of those books that would see CGC multiple times over its life, pushing that 8.5 mark because it's so dang close.
It's so pretty.
You hear about that sometimes in the community, right? Like these grails that just like they see CGC hands like 10 times trying to get that 1/2 a point up, that 0.5 up, you know? Well, here we go. I'm looking at an 8.5 that looks like a 9. It's amazing. And wow. The color. It's just nuts. It's nuts. It's crazy to see grails like this. It's even crazier to see the process in such a short time. You knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, look, I took a gamble and I ended up coming out on top with it. So I have the time, I have the experience, and I knew what to look for. But again, even with that, sometimes you can miss stuff and you could take a big loss. But again, no risk, no reward, and I just had to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you said in this conversation that, you don't know once you crack it open if something was missed, if there's some color touch. It takes one little bit of ink to be missed. It happens. It actually does happen. And I've seen CGC miss things in the past. So we wouldn't put it past PGX to have an off day, as we know sometimes they do. And here we have a really good example of just, you know what? Sometimes you got to go with your gut, because if you didn't, you would have never lived that down. You would have always remembered that because someone else would have done that.
Yeah, you're probably right. Somebody else probably would have taken that chance, just doing the same type of analysis that I did and just been like, I'm going for it. And then I probably would have heard about it and just felt even worse that I didn't take that chance and had this opportunity to own 2 major books that, like, I don't know if I ever would have owned again. So for now, these are great. They're in my personal. They're going to the safety deposit box with some of these others, and I'll visit them on holidays.
So these are your personal books. These are not ones that you're looking to move. Is that right?
Right. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to get the opportunity to get these for what I got them for, and also having that emotional connection of the story and acquiring them.
Right.
So I moved a few other books that were less interesting to me, at least a few plus, just to justify, these rotating into the collection now.
It's really fun to see that regardless of how expensive the books get, regardless of the collector, the hunt is the hunt. It may lead you in different paths. The hunt may look different. You may have to use different tools. You may be hunting different things. But regardless of where you fall in this collector's market, the hunt is going to be an interesting one. And we're excited to keep talking about it and to have you come along with us. Thank you so much, the comic book community, for joining us today. Hit the subscribe button. We do talk a lot about Golden Age comics with the guru here, but this guy's collecting a bunch of stuff. He's always bringing interesting stuff to the table. And today, you brought some Silver Age madness.
Yeah, so I'm a big Golden Age guy, obviously, but there are going to be Silver Age books that I just have to have in my collection just because they're iconic, the covers are outstanding, and they mean something to me. And these are just 2 books examples that I have to have in my collection. And at these grades, like, how do I not try to justify keeping them?
Well, I'm glad you brought them, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else we're able to bring to the table, new acquisitions, and really scarce books. Thanks, comic fam, as always.
Geek responsibly.
Enough said. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you buy comic books on eBay, hit that link in the description before you do. We actually get a little kickback from eBay, and you can help support the show.